Hey everyone, it's Cariana, your favorite witchy coach. So how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. So the topic of this video is going to be about how there's absolutely no competition in your reality, that you're the only competition unless you call it in, and how to get rid of a 3P. I haven't talked about these topics for a really long time. I made a video, years back about this, and I've sprinkled it into my videos here and there, but I have not had a video that was focused on 3P in competition for a very long time. And I've been asked to do this once again. I'm bringing you guys what you guys want. But before I get started in that, I wanted to remind you guys that all of the information for my coaching sessions will be down in the description box below. So go ahead and check that out if you need help on your journey. Also, too, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I can get the word out to as many people as I can. Okay, guys. So once again, I'm going to remind you that a 3P is not only a person in your reality, somebody that you've pushed out. Okay. It can be a person that you're dealing with that has an addiction to their job. It can be a person that has an addiction to drugs. It can be a mother-in-law that's meddling in your relationship. It can be a video game addiction. It can be anything that's impeding you from getting your manifestation isn't 3P, or getting your manifestation the way that you want to have it, the way that you desire to have it. Anything that's in your way is a 3P. Okay. And that's why I say that you're the only competition. Okay. Because we call all of these things in, because everything happens within us. Nothing happens outside of us. We are the only competition. Okay. What do I always say on, I've said this on plenty of videos, that I don't watch other coaches' videos. The reason why is because in my world, I'm the best. There's no competition in my world. Now, of course, I could go and watch videos. Of course, I could go and watch content, and I can have the assumption that, I'm the very best. It doesn't matter if I'm watching this, I'm the best. There's no competition. But to me, I just decide to have tunnel vision. I had somebody tell me the other day, like, you're an expert at making like people disappear, and I was laughing. I was like, oh, you make it sound like I'm in the mob. And and the person's like, yeah, or some kind of witch or whatever. But like, we were joking around, going back and forth about it. But like, they're right. I mean, like, I'm really, really good at getting rid of any 3Ps, anything that I don't like in my 3D that I've happened to push out, or I feel like I'm gonna push out with a story that I have. I back it up and I reverse it. And I'm really, really good at getting rid of that. So I just want to give you guys the rundown of how I do that, so you guys can apply it to your own life. And I also have a little success story too from one of my clients that was in a situationship for a very long time with somebody. And she was able to get rid of this person that was a 3P that was, impeding her from having her manifestation with the person that she, her FP. But anyways, guys, so, that's why I say that. It's no shade to anybody. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just a very straightforward girl. I think you guys, if anybody's watched my videos before, you're going to know it. I'm very straightforward. I'm very honest. And what you see is what you get. I'm never going to, of course I have to filter some things, but like, you're going to get the real Cariana on here. And I always say that there's no competition in my reality. I don't watch other content creators. I just don't. Because in my world, I choose to just be tunnel vision. I'm the only one. I'm the best. That's it. Right. And I want you guys to have that kind of confidence within yourself as well. And you can have it. If you don't have it already, you can build on this, and you can definitely become that. I want you to become this strong, powerful, conscious creator that stands very, very firm in the fact that everything that you're experiencing is your reality, and you can add, you can take away, you can do whatever you want. What do I always say? Flip, fire. It's all up to you. Okay. So with that being said, guys, now I've already explained to you guys that a 3P, like I said, can be anything in your reality. Okay. Anything that you've created that impedes you from getting your manifestation. But what I'm going to do today on this video is I'm going to focus more on a actual person, because it does have to do with my success story. Also, too, a lot of people can relate to this, right? We've had this happen. It's a popular subject. Okay. So I am going to explain to you how you can get rid of a 3P by using the example of a actual person. Okay. So first and foremost, okay, I always joke around, especially if you've had a session with me and you're talking about 3P. I always say that whenever you have a 3P that comes into your reality, okay, obviously it's going to be triggering. It's going to make you feel bad. It's going to make you all feel all types of way. It's going to feel like it's very permanent and that it's not malleable and changeable. You're going to be thinking, how the heck did I do this? Maybe some people have a very, very clear story, but other people don't, and they don't realize how they did it. Now, without going too far, because I am going to talk about in my next video, I think I had somebody ask me to talk about blocks and resistance, and I can get into, a little bit more of how you created these things in that next video. So I'm not going to go too far on how you created it. Just say that you have a 3P. So you have some competition that has shown up and it doesn't make you feel good and it's making you feel triggered. What do you do next? Okay. That's what this video is going to be the focus on. So what I always do, okay, is first of all, I create a story around that person. Okay. I personally do not think and believe that completely ignoring a person when they show up in your reality is the way to go. I don't think that that's the way to get rid of somebody very, very quickly from your reality, to fire them completely, detox them out, push them out, and have them never come back. I personally do not think that that is the right way to go. I know, because I've heard on session before, people have brought to me, oh, well, this content creator said this, or this person said this, or I heard this, or I read this. This is just my opinion. I have worked with thousands of people. Okay. I have a lot of success stories. And when I give people this formula, okay, they come back to me 9 times out of 10, they have gotten rid of the 3P very, very quickly. Okay. If it takes them a little bit more time, at the very least, they feel more calm and more powerful when they do it this way. Okay. So you have this competition in 3P. What I do is I created it. How did I create it? Sometimes I know, sometimes I'm a little confused. I always figure it out though, right? I've been doing this for a lot of years. But the how you created it, okay, it shouldn't be the main dwelling focus. First and foremost, we're going to create a story around this person, okay? We're going to wish this person well. And we're going to take responsibility for creating them in the first place, okay? What do I always say on session, going back to what I was talking about? And I joke around a lot, right? But what do I always say? This person does not have to die in a fiery crash. You do not have to hate this person, okay? You have created this person. You call them in, okay? You don't have to love them and make them like your best friend. No, we're not going to keep them around, right? But we don't have to hate them. So what we do is we just create a story, right, that gets this person completely out of your reality, away from your 3P, or sorry, your SP, away from you and your guys' reality, the situation that you guys have going on. Okay. So they don't interrupt you. They don't interrupt your life and they don't trigger you. Okay. Create a story. So say that you have an SP and there's a 3P involved. Maybe this person is a coworker. Okay. I've heard this story a million times. This person's a coworker. They've gotten a little too close, a little too flirty, and you're feeling like you don't know how to, you don't want to have your person be fired from, their job, right? But you want to fire the 3P, right? You want to get rid of the 3P. That's perfectly fine. You have the power to do that. You created them in the first place, right? So what you do is you say, oh, 3P found another job that they are so happy with, right? In another state, okay? Or 3P hooked back up with their ex and they moved out of state to be with them, okay? Whatever makes you guys feel comfortable, whatever's the most believable to your brain right away, right? Whatever story makes you feel calm, gets rid of the 3P, create it, okay? Now, I always say, we're not going to create an affirmation for this person and be running around affirming for them all day, every day and dwelling on it. We're not going to do that, right? But we're not going to ignore. So what we're going to do is we're going to become an observer of our thoughts. And now that we've created the story and we're going to bring it into the present, we're not going to say, oh, this person's going to meet they're, back with their ex, or they're dating their ex and then they might get back together. No, this person has gotten back together with their ex. This flirty situationship that was going on over here, no matter how, deep it is over with. This person is back with their ex. This person has quit their job where they were working with SP, and now they are on their way to the next state. Okay. And they're happy. They're happy about it, right? They're running to the next state to be with this person. Okay. That's what we do, guys. That's how we get rid of the 3P the quickest way possible. Okay. Make story up, wish them well, bye. See you later. Okay. Why I always say like a different state, a different country, something like that, is because I am like famous for this. I like to actually like picture this person, right, being tied to another state or another country, and they cannot pass that border anymore. That's their new life now. That is their new home. They're never going to come back into my reality. And guess what? That's why my friend was joking around about that with me, because 10 times out of 10, because I don't think I've ever gotten rid of a 3P and they've come back, or haven't been able to get rid of a 3P. Okay. So this works. This works, guys. And I know what you guys are going to ask me, okay, along the lines of, well, what do I do in the meanwhile, right? Why this story is hardening into fact, because I don't quite believe it yet, right? But I kind of see some stuff happening, or I don't quite believe it and I'm not seeing any movement yet. SP hasn't came home and told me that this person's fired, or I haven't heard that they, or not fired, that they quit, or I haven't heard that this person has left, or I don't know about this person's ex and their life, whatever it is. When you're in between that news story, or the old story and the new story, and you're really having the story harden into the fact about SP or 3P and SP, you're not going to dwell on the person. Like I said, we're not creating a whole, affirmation about the person, or a list of affirmations. We're going to go running around constantly saying their name and constantly having this visual of this person, right? We're not going to do that, because we can confuse the subconscious that way. Or if we're constantly bringing attention to this thing, what do I always say? Where you put your attention, things grow, right? Where you put your attention, things manifest. So we're not going to plant seeds like that. We're just going to be an observer of our thoughts. And as our thoughts come up throughout the day, oh, what is SP doing today? Well, so-and-so was supposed to be on the clock with them, or on the schedule with them. Are they flirting today? Is she hanging out close to him? What are they doing? Well, should I go and pack a lunch for him and drop it off and just like spy? Oh, maybe I should drive by there. Nope. Cut it. Interfere that thought. Like I always say, you can pick a funny word, right? Just intercept those thoughts somehow. Stop them. Use I remember when. Oh yeah, I remember when that was a situation and they were flirty. I remember when she worked with SP and that did not make me feel comfortable. That made me feel jealous because they had something going on before us. But now, remember, talk to yourself like a best friend. Talk to yourself like you would get on the phone with your best friend, and your best friend would remind you, remember, Cariana, that 3P situation is over and done with. Remember, she moved to ... state, or remember, she moved out of the country to follow her ex. Remember, her and her ex got back together and they have a whole ass family now. Whatever the story is, okay? Talk to yourself like you would your best friend, or your best friend would talk to you, okay? And then drop it and go about your day. Preoccupy your mind with other things. I've talked about this in several videos. If you feel like you got monkey chatter in your brain, drop in your body. Go take a walk. Go take a yoga class. Get into the shower. That always shifts energy, and it actually washes energy off you. So I believe, right? And then if you think that you're kind of in that busy mind or busy body, and your body is really anxious, do something with your brain, like meditate. Like sit in silence for a little bit, right? You could also take a nap. That's good for like just kind of, refreshing the brain, right? Read a book. That stimulates the brain. Journal. That stimulates the brain. There's so many different things that I can, recommend. But go about your day, okay? Drop it for then. Do not hold on to it. Because where your attention goes, right, the energy flows. That's what's going to manifest. We are planting seeds and we don't want to do that. So become an observer of your thoughts. It's very, very important, guys. Okay. Especially when we're getting rid of a 3P. Well, especially when we're trying to manifest anything, but when we're getting rid of a 3P, because a 3P can seem so, permanent in our reality. It can seem so threatening. I know, I get it, right? I dealt not so much with a 3P with another person, but I've dealt with 3P situations in my relationships and when I'm trying to manifest something. And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant when you feel threatened by this thing that you've created. It's confusing and it kind of leaves you in a spiral if you let it. But you guys can do this. You can absolutely do this. Okay. Like I said, person doesn't have to die in a fiery crash. You don't have to hate them. You just have to say, you know what? I created this. I acknowledge this. I take responsibility. Okay. I'm not BSing anymore. I'm stepping into my power, stepping into my I am state. I'm going to create a story that makes sense for everybody. Everybody is happy. First and foremost, I'm on the pedestal. I'm the only one with free will. I'm happy. I'm getting what I desire from both of these things. I'm getting what I desire from SP, and I'm getting what I desire from 3P, which is her, him, they, it disappearing, whatever it is, completely disappearing and never coming back. Okay. And yeah, guys, I mean, really, honestly, I have condensed this and summed this up. Okay. But that's how I deal with the 3P. I'm not going to go too far into people that have content creators and stuff or other people out there that talk about ignoring the 3P and acting like they don't exist and stuff like that. Really quickly, if I touch on that, I just feel like you're going to be fighting. It's like fighting upstream with your subconscious. Okay. I have talked about this for as many years as I've been doing this, pretty much, right? The more that we fear something, the more that we try to go against it, the more that we run away from it, we ignore it, we try to stuff it under the rug, we try to act like it never happened because, we created it. Okay, it's malleable and changeable, but don't act like it never happened or it's not happening right now in your reality. Don't, right? Yes, there is a time to be delusional. Abso-freaking-lutely there is. When you're creating the story and you haven't yet seen the story play out completely how you want to have it play out, that's a time to be delusional. That's a time to say in the present, this is happening. This has already happened. I don't have to worry about this. Okay, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that if something comes up, okay, it keeps floating up to the surface of your mind, your subconscious keeps reminding you and being chatty about it. Well, don't fear it and run away from it, ignore it and act like, and freak out about it. Just face it head on, okay? And then reason with your subconscious. I remember when that was happening, but guess what? We're over here now. This is our story now. Remember, we're doing this. Remember? That's all you need to do, okay? I mean, in short, right? I don't want to make this video too long, guys, but I want you to take that. I want you to realize that because everything happens within you, within your mind, okay? You hold all the power. Whether some days we don't feel like it or not, we do, okay? I've had people that have completely parroted back to me quite recently, actually. It happens all the time in my reality. Parrot back to me things that I've been scripting, okay? Things that I've been saying to a friend. They come back and they parrot it back to me. I can't explain these things, right? We have the power, guys. These things are constantly happening around us because we're energy and we cannot be destroyed or stopped. Okay? Thought transmission is always happening. So whether you wake up tomorrow and maybe feel a little bit less powerful, or you're having some doubts, or having a little bit of a glitch, okay? Just know, okay, that there's movement always happening. Things are always working in your favor. Now let's start affirming that, intending that, okay? Let's have that be our assumption 9 times out of 10. Wake up with intention and let that be your assumption. Go to bed with intention and let that be your assumption, okay? I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are powerful badasses. I always say that. And I will see you guys in the next video where I will be talking about, most likely, because I had somebody request this, about how to find your blocks. And it's a very simple answer, and I'll go into some detail, but we have to stop making this so complicated, okay? I love, love, love you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful night, morning, afternoon, wherever you guys are. All right. See you guys later. Bye.